Oh my goodness, they're all in here.
You want some coffee?
I do.
Let's go get some. I'm gonna take a break.
Welcome to another episode of Suburban Homestead Gen X. Well, project we got going right now, we're going to take this here old pallet that I just kind of had laying around. We're going to repurpose this over here so we can stack some wood up by the house. We're still at the 1st of October, but by my estimates, we're probably about 10 days away from needing to use the heater to get the chill out of the morning air. So that's stacked right there. You see the wood's going to go against that. And we'll come up with something to drape down over the wood. I'm hoping that we can get this tree right here down and get these stumps at least leveled down to the ground. Man, here they go again. Just in the tree line. Moving fast. Our one goal, you can see, is I have this metal building that serves as an office. We're going to be moving this down to right here where we run the power and water and all of that in the spring. So hopefully that's what we'll be doing this weekend. But to get there, we got a lot to do this week. So the best thing for us to do right now is going to be get some wood split. Throw it down there. This will be the last of the wood we have up here. So sooner we get this split, we can get this area here cleaned up. And I don't know what we'll do. Maybe we'll just clean it up and put some grass over here. But I'm getting excited. Once we get my office building moved up to the main power, we can start putting the house together again. And like I say, this time we're going to be putting it together in just like 10 by 10 blocks. Make it easy. Grace, where you at? Oh, I see you. Always one thing after another. So last night we went riding around and doing some back roads and getting some filming in, and I started losing tire pressure last night, and this is what we woke up to this morning. Just getting off work, so now's when I can fix it. But also the other side is kind of messed up too. So I thought this would be a great opportunity for us to kind of, I don't know who all knows how to plug a tire. But we're going to kind of do that right now and show you how to do that just in case you ever need to. The first step is to find the obstruction. And I'm thinking there's going to be a nail in this. If there is, we'll come back. But I'm going to inspect the tire. Next thing that I got to do is we're going to air it up some. We should be able to at least hear where the air is coming out. That tire's flat. Something neat with the newer vehicles, if the vehicle's running, and we're going to find out now if it does it without the vehicle running, but once you get the tire pressure and the vehicle's running, I know for sure, the horn beeps once or twice to let you know that you're at pressure. So that's convenient. Alright, so we got to move the truck up, I think. There it is, right there. I saw it right up. Let me move up just a little bit more. Now, obstruction is right here. Basic tools you're going to want to have for just to keep in your toolbox in your car is a tire plug kit, an air tire pressure gauge. You rarely ever need these, but valve stem inserts and a valve stem tool. The valve stem tool and the extra valves is something you'd probably never need, but it's one of those items that anytime I've ever needed it, I've been 100 miles away from everything. So I try and keep those with me now. I've used the last ones, or I lost the last ones I had, so I just bought some more. But let's go ahead and let me show you how to do this real quick. All right, we're getting more air to come out. Before we take too much of it out, we're going to come to our kit. And our kit is comprised of a couple different tools. This is their T-handle, but this is a reaming tool right here. And that's what we're going to do, because most of the time, once you get this pulled out, the hole isn't big enough. So you have to make it just a little bit bigger. But you see, this is working its way out. Oh my, that's not a nail. What is that? I gotta set the phone down for a second, guys. Give me a minute. Uh-oh. So this is easier if there's a little bit of air in the tire, so we're gonna go ahead and add some more air. So we gotta make sure we ream it really well. How it was really hard to go in and out at first, now it's just kind of easy, goes right in there. Now with this, you pull one of these out, and I've always just fed it straight through here like this, about halfway. Pull it all the way up there, and they usually give you some type of a glue. If you don't have glue, I recommend using a lot of maybe saliva if it's an emergency situation. But this is rubber, and it will not slide unless you have some form of lubrication. This is a big hole, so we're gonna have to add more air again. But being home and be able to do this is a lot easier than if we was on the road and you had one of those little teeny air pumps that you're just messing with. I keep one of those too, but you know, you can only run it for 15 minutes until it gets too hot. Alright, so we pulled this out where that hole is, and it's not going to go in that easy. And then you pull out. I don't think this part's really necessary. I'm just from the old school where you just put a little bit more glue down on top of it. And now I will tell you, this is not meant to be a permanent fix. This fix is going to last until I can get some new tires. We're starting to get down, tread's probably about at half-life now, so hopefully within the next 6 months we'll be able to get tires. I mean, I'm going to make a list. I'm going to make a list of all the things we need. And I'll tell you, anyone out there wants to be a sponsor, you know, we'll take it. Now I'm going to air up the tire. While I'll do that, you guys notice we got 4 pounds in that tire. Let's see if it'll hold air. Okay, so it's not enough, so I need to give it more, and then I can pause again and it'll let me know if I gave it enough. And I know that one's full. So that's a neat feature on this Ram truck that I do really love. I don't know why I got 4-ways on. What I love about these small air tanks like this is it's portable. Because I just noticed the tractor tires are a little flat too. There'll be enough air in there to fill it. That's about exactly what it holds, just enough to top this tire off. Always try to make sure I put the caps back on. All right, we can put this away. Well, we got most of the ones done now that I guess can be burned. A lot of the rest of this is just going to be hauled up to the burn pile. I don't think I want to make a burn pile down here just in case. There's a lot of debris in this area, and this is what we're trying to get rid of. It's supposed to be really dry, I think maybe even in the next year or so. Okay. I don't even have a half a cord cut. I'm gonna have to keep working at this. May be a skip in between episodes. If so, I apologize. Maybe I'll just put one up and it'll be me just pretty much cutting wood. I need to get 3 cords done for the winter. For those of you that don't know, it would be a sheet of plywood with wood stacked 4 feet like a square, and that would be 1 cord, and I need 3 of those. I probably have the wood cut laying around. I just got to get it all gathered up and over here to the chopping block or up to the new one. See if we can get this last one here done, and this will be all the pieces of oak I brought up in the spring. Finally. We brought these up when I guess I was still cutting firewood, so that would have been back in March or April. So they're good and dry, even with all the rain we've had. I don't know about y'all, but the price of meat, this little squirrel that's hollering at me back here, that might be added to the stew pot here. That's right, he knows it. Man, we had some rain come through here last night. But everything is so wet, I think we're going to take a chance here to try and burn this. I don't have much diesel, but you know, with all the rain we had, I'm going to have some kind of accelerant. So we'll just see if we can't get some diesel working in here. Set this out the way. I like to bring a little bit of paper. That might help. See if this is even going to do anything, or we just barking up the wrong tree today. We can catch a little bit of that diesel. We're going to have to play with it some, I'm sure. It's the pine needles that are burning. We just need to get enough heat built up with the pine needles to catch a little bit of this wood. Well, there's a little bit burning in there, not much. Now the wind is supposed to be blowing today pretty good, just not there yet. I guess if we really wanted to catch up, I can focus on some small stuff. If we can get that little small grouping right there catch, we'll be able to make the rest of this pile burn. I just don't know if there's any more rain coming. They said no, but it's not what I'm picking up on the vibe out here. Boy, this wind's blowing kind of like a springtime pattern. All right, well, looks like we got a little bit of wood trying to catch now. But it's going to be the small stuff. There was probably 2 inches of rain last night. Well, we had to give it a little bit of help, but it looks like we have a fire happening anyways. Give it a little bit more help. Changing wind. But that'll make this fire keep burning. The winds keep changing. Hopefully it'll get down and we'll just be burning on this stump and we can have another pile going, which I think we may start now. I don't know if it's going to stay lit or not. Looks like if it's going to stay lit, I'm going to have to be fighting it all day. There we go. That's some wind. Now, if we'd have come out yesterday and lit this, it would have just went woof. So dry. That little bit of green that's on top would have just, man, it have dried out so fast. But it looks like, you know, we're getting a little bit of a fire happening anyways. Burning some of it down is better than none of it. I think we have a fire now. Woo! Now I have an idea this first log may roll off here, but we're going to see if we can get it to balance. The only way I know to do this is I'm going to have to drag it with my own strength. We'll get a piece of this wood from up here in this pile. Help me out. Boy, this wind is something today. I hope it's not interfering with the mic too much. I might have to go put one of them dead cats on it here. This is the only way that I know to move these. Guess what I need to do is drive a stake in the ground here, stake in the ground there to prevent them from rolling. And while I go find some tools to make these stakes, you guys keep an eye on that fire right there. Alright, so went out and cut a couple of these posts here. I got hickory because I figured that'll last the longest. I didn't have any red oak that was about the right size, so. Once this gets in, I'm gonna try and drive it about a foot. Okay, woo. So that's probably a foot in the ground. Then we're gonna drive this one in. Maybe we'll pull that other log up and then we'll take a break. All right. Now we got log stop. Should be able to get, I don't know, 30 or 40 posts up here anyways. Oh, well, I guess I gotta do it like this for everyone. All right, so this is now our brush pile. That's burned down. We'll probably put another one where that stump is or that stump there. Let that burn a little bit more and we'll come and rake it over top of the stump we're trying to burn out. And I'd love for it to burn all the way out, but if they just burn down to the ground I'd love for it to burn all the way out, but if they just burn down to the ground so the mower blades go over it, I'll be happy. All right, we'll go up here and check on this. It's been burning. I came up a little bit ago and I put another piece of wood on it. I'm just going to try and keep it smoldering. But see this right here, this is what's left of that stump. And that thing is just burning out. So we're going to let that keep going. So we have a few more stumps up here. Like I say, this one here will burn it. I'd like to set something on top of that, but I just don't trust it going down. We'll see what we can do. I just have to make sure if we put any fire on that stump, I got to make sure it's clear around it. So that might be what we'll do, is I might light the ground around that. Or we may just not do that at all today. All right, well, we haven't been in this area since the spring. But this is where when we had the septic tank put in, they just pulled these trees up by the roots and all. So we are going to try and see what wood we can cut out of these. There's several in here, but we want to see what we can cut out of these, and then we'll get the tractor and get it up to the wood pile. I see. Okay, so it looks like we're just gonna go ahead and make us a brush pile right here. Much as I'm against it, we may end up burning a brush pile right there. We just have to make sure we have the hose, a lot of water, and stay with it. But there's so much brush in here, it's going to be hard to move it to another location. So, just right over there is the chicken pen, and the water's right beside it. So I'm sure 150 feet should reach here. That's what our hose length is, so it's going to have to. Yeah, these big giant root balls, we're just going to have to do it. Some of these trees, these sweet gums, need cut down because their tops are gone. So whatever we can make into firewood's our priority. I think I'm gonna have to get the other chainsaw to cut this. Or maybe I got too much pressure kink in it there. Dang, I cannot get this chain to cut this wood. This chain it's cutting like it's dull, but it looks sharp. It's ridiculous. This thing, I don't know if it's the chain or what the deal is, but it ain't cutting. So we're gonna definitely have to swap this chain. Well, I'll tell you what. That saw blade, I know I just bought that and I cut down 2 trees. That blade should not be that dull, but it obviously is. So I think I have another blade around here somewhere. Otherwise, we'll have to get out the chainsaw sharpener, and I guess I probably got about 25, 30 blades we can sharpen. Yeah. But since, you know, I maybe have an hour of daylight left at all. So we'll go ahead and we'll get some more of this trimmed up here. We're getting into the fall of the year. And part of the push this fall is to get as much of this underbrush taken care of. And anything that's really super combustible, get the forest floor kind of clear of a lot of combustible items. We'll come back, we'll probably put, mulch, stuff like that in. But mulch, it does burn, but it smolders. It doesn't really do a lot of flame. But I guess so for this afternoon, yeah, let's go ahead and kill the rest of the day with, it's right here. The nice thing is right now, even though I'm using this to cut, and we've already cut this once, it probably is not going to grow much between now and spring. So hopefully by spring we'll have all of this done, so we can just take the bush hog, or maybe we'll be lucky and have a grass mower by that time. Well, we're going to need chainsaw for some of these up here. They're just a little bit too big. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow evening. See if we can't get this little bit that's up here. Call it a night. It's been a few days. We had a little bit of rain, but it did not affect this right here. You can see this stump is pretty much gone. We still got a little bit of smoke coming out. There's some heat there. A little bit of heat in that hole there still. That one kind of goes on down in there. For some giggles, I thought, let's go ahead and we'll try and light this stump here. And I just kind of set a little fire on top of it, and boy, it burnt way down in there. It's still actually very warm. So it's still burning, I guess. While all that's been smoldering down, I've been up here working firewood. I'm getting some set to take down to the firewood. There's for my office. It's a small heater, so it takes only about 13-inch wood. The heater in the house can take 19-inch pieces, so that's what we're going to get for it. So I guess we'll just do a little bit of wood chopping here and see if we can't, see how much we can get done. Okay, we got wood on the cart. I got this right here. We're just going to keep chopping wood. This has been the big push right now. We're getting into winter. This morning was our first real cold morning. And it really wasn't that cold. It was in the 40s. You see how hard this is? This is still that oak that we'd cut up. That first tree we was down there cutting up that the chain was dying on the saw. Now I'll catch you up on that too. So yesterday, I didn't take my camera with me. I needed to get some work done, and I didn't have time, to set up for shots and all that. So I just swapped that chain out. We got all of that cut up. Before we close this video, we'll walk down there and take a look at that. Let's get a little bit of this wood cut while I still got some daylight though. We are way away from our 3 cords that we need for the winter. Now this piece here is going to be kind of fun. You see, this tree was growing really good right here. It's round. Something happened and the growth rings are real tight here. They get wider here, so this tree obviously had some stress. See if we can't cut this here, and then we'll have to maybe try and come in the center of where it was growing good and see if we can get that. That was one. They usually don't work that well. All right, let's try and get one there now. There, that's how it normally works. And I'll take it up there a bit. Yes, baby. Yep, I can switch gears. I'm open. I heard help when I wasn't asking for it. You turn somebody down when they're trying to help you, they may not offer you again when you need it. And guys, I want to ask you a question. And this question, to my lady fans, is just for the men, but you can chime in if you notice this in your guy. But men, if you're in my age range, Gen X, do you have a hard time asking other people for help? I do. It's a weird thing. If I have to ask someone for help, I feel like a failure. All right, so this is our load for in the house. That's my load for the office. Wherever you want to stack them.
I mean, these are separate than those.
Yeah, it don't matter. They all go in the same place. So for the winter, this should be about a week's worth of wood that we see right here. Maybe more than. Maybe a week and a half. But I mean, when we're done, we'll have no more than 10 days in this stack. So you'll see why we need so much wood to help us get through the winter. But I can tell you one thing. The labor that goes into this wood is nowhere near the cost of that electric bill. Our electric bill in the winter it'll be lower than it is in the summer. We'll have $100-something power bills in the winter.
You know how to cook on it.
Yep. And right, it'll make our gas bill go down because in the wintertime we'll be cooking on the wood stove as well while it's on. Might as well utilize it. But it's nothing to make a couple grilled cheese or burger.
Or make soup or make macaroni, stuff like that.
That's right, yeah. Jennifer just said soup, macaroni, that type of stuff works great. Just let it simmer on there because you don't have a hot fire. All right, that's about one more piece. Exactly as we suspected. That saw blade was just dull. But we came. This is the wood we're chopping right now. So we have all this here. And you can see that wood, I mean, that's still good wood. started us a brush pile here. I've made the executive decision, since we have all this debris here, it will be just easier for me to try and burn it all right there. Sorry about that, I had something in my mouth. And the pine that we're cutting was this right here. What on one of our next projects is going to be, see, but right there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 trees. The rest of that tree, the rest of this tree, and I think there's one more tree right here. So out of all those trees, we should have probably enough wood to get us through the end of December anyways. So we may take a break from cutting wood to stay on some projects here, because now is the perfect time for us to start doing some clearing again. But guys, thank you so much for staying with us. We appreciate you every time you visit. Please hit that subscribe button. Help us out. We would love to bring our content to you full time if we can. That's a dream, but for right now, that dream's just not happening. But we love sharing anyways. You guys take it easy. We'll see you next week.